Our first number with these guys is Esprit de Corps by Robert Yeager. This was written in honor of the U.S. Marine Band, and in fact, the major melodic chunks you're going to hear are from the Marine hymn, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. Basically, you're going to hear that little melodic chunk all throughout the piece in different inversions and different styles. It's a lot of fun. It's a very heavy lift for our brass section, especially our trumpet players, but they've really risen to the occasion and done a great job. We hope you enjoy Esprit de Corps. These guys similarly have had a great year. Prepping stuff for district assessment, state assessment. Back in March, they were one of 3 groups that formed the Phi Beta Mu Assessment Festival at Louisville Mail. Just really wonderful performances throughout the year. And similarly, about a week and a half ago, we passed out a James Bond tune. I usually try to pick our fun tunes to meet up with something that it's happening. I think we're still 3 years out from another Bond movie. And I really like the arrangement, so we went with this. Again, we welcome back to the podium Mr. Hayden Brannon to conduct Bond, James Bond. All right, before our last tune, I'm gonna say a whole bunch of nice things. Of course, this is our last concert for the class of 2026. We have our band banquet on Thursday, and I will say more nice things then, but I'm gonna start by saying some nice things right now. So I arrived here 2 years ago, and I always knew, from the moment I arrived here, I knew we had a strong junior class, and I was really excited when I showed up to see what those juniors would end up being as seniors. And I would say they surpassed even my high expectations. The group of seniors we have this year have proven to be extremely musical, extremely thoughtful, very funny, a little weird, in the best way possible, and they're going to be dearly, dearly missed next year. What we want to do right now is bring them up here one at a time, so that way you can see our full class, take some pictures, and we can honor the class of 2026 for all the hard work they've given to the OC bands over the last 4 years. So we're going to go in generally instrument order. If I miss one, yell at me. Galen Osorio. Ida Rose. Emma Bullock. Zach Harris. Stella Ferrando. Jeremy Bivens. Sarah Weir. Avery Primoff. Paul Birchmeyer. Hudson Wetmore. Ben Reed. Luca Gilly. Hannah Sparks. Emily Harris. Justin Ross. Logan Arnold. Alex Godberry. Michael Gross. Ethan Meredith. Zach Baker. Bennett Liddell. Nolan Hurley. Brody Milton. Some of you guys are on the podium. Go on the podium. There we go. Brandon Greer. Yeah, let's go down some guys. Feel free to go to the other side. We're good. Yep, keep on going. We want to give people a chance to take a nice picture.
Turn up the lights.
I'm not sure I can. Ladies and gentlemen, your class of 2026. Alrighty, let's head back to our seats. As we say goodbye to the senior class, as with all things, the world keeps on turning. Next week, all freshmen, sophomores, and juniors, in case you did not know, are playing for their graduation. We do like a little concert beforehand, and then of course we do Pomp and Circumstance, Mile Kentucky Home, and all of that good stuff. On the very last day of school here, heads up to everyone else, we have our OCHS band kickoff day. We are not having a rehearsal with that today, but that is a great day to turn in paperwork, buy flyers, pick up their music for the year, and kind of kick things off as we prepare for the 2026-2027 version of the OCHS band. We got one more tune for you this evening. It's a fun one. This is called Zoom by Scott Borma, and I kind of picked it a little bit just because I think it's fitting as a final piece as to send our seniors off into the very successful things they're going to be doing after graduation here. Something I talked to them a little bit about, although they're very soon going to realize this, that time moves different as you get older. And I know for me personally, even though the 4 years I spent in high school with my high school band is around the same amount of time actually I've lived here in Louisville, it seems bigger because at that time that was a bigger chunk, a bigger percentage of my life. And although very soon they're going to spend a lot of life after here doing really, really incredible things, both around LaGrange, Kentucky, and some of them away from LaGrange, Kentucky. The time they spent here, although very, very brief in the grand scheme of things, was still really, really important, and they made their impact while they were here. It's a really fast piece. It's a lot of fun. We hope you enjoy our closing number, Zoom.